Hi, this is Jennifer with Feasting on Joy. You may not know it, but I am an avid scrapbooker. I have actually scrapbooked for 22 years of my life, and I have quite the library of albums to show. And I was also a consultant with Creative Memories for 9 years. And so I really wanted to share with you some of my tips and tricks on how to keep a family yearbook. One thing I know is that life is busy, but because I'm passionate about pictures and memories and family, I make a point to do at least one family yearbook a year. I used to do a lot more, but then of course I had kids, so I had to come back to reality and just do what I could. But now I usually do one album a year of our family events chronologically, and then I also, if we've taken some sort of big vacation, I do an album of that as well. So I wanted to share with you today some tips and tricks and tools that I use to make it easy to do and accessible. I also briefly wanted to show you an easy way to keep your photos organized throughout the year so that when it's time to do your family yearbook, you don't have to dig through thousands of photos and decide which ones you want. It's already done for you, and you can just literally put your photos in an album. And when I say I scrapbook, my pages don't take me 8 hours a piece. They're fairly straightforward. So join me and learn how I do these simple albums that are long-lasting and heirlooms for my family and the generations up and coming. I think you'll really love it. I wanted to begin with telling you how I organize my photos. And the first product I use is called Historian, and it's by a company called Forever. I will be linking that in the next photo you see, basically. And it is such a wonderful program. It used to be called Memory Manager. Creative Memories originally is where I bought it from, but Historian, or Forever, is the company that created the software. So Creative Memories, as it used to be, is no longer. So now I still use that same program, but through the company who created it. So anyways, it's called Historian. It is something I load every single photo I take into. You can edit your photos. You can organize them in folders. You can tag them. It does facial recognition. You can rate them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. You can search for a certain year. Say you wanted something from 1996, and you don't want to search through thousands upon thousands of photos. You just type in this certain area, 1996, and you'll find your photos. It's amazing, an amazing organizational software that I think you'll really love. So that's first and foremost. You have to keep your photos organized. I can do a whole entire separate video on that, but Historian is what I use, and then Artisan is second that I use, and that is because I do sometimes what I call hybrid albums, and those are albums that actually have printed pictures, and then they also have page prints. And so Artisan is the software program also by Forever that I use to create those page prints that I just print at Costco. So each of those programs is $59.95 each, and I highly recommend them. They are stellar programs. Next, I wanted to share with you a tool that I use that makes doing a family yearbook go very, very quickly. So this is, unfortunately, this is Creative Memories. That's fortunate, but unfortunately, this is no longer available to purchase through them. So you find this on eBay. This is called a Power Layouts box, and I swear by this method of doing family yearbooks. So you'll get the box. You can find them on eBay, like I said. People are still selling them. You'll get the box, and in it will come these guides, okay? So these particular guides are polypropylene. You can actually store your pictures in them, and they won't cause any damage to your pictures as well. So these are 12 by 12. The actual edge of each side is 12 by 12. So you know when you lay out your photos in this, you'll be able to go edge to edge, and I'll explain what that means in a little bit. But anyways, it'll come with several of these guides in a box, and I'll show you how to use the Power Layouts and why I think that it is just an amazing tool to be able to help you get your album done. Next, I wanted to tell you what kind of albums I use. So as I said before, I was a consultant for 9 years with Creative Memories, and I 100% stand by their products. I think that quality really matters. If you're going to spend hours on an album that you want to have your family see as an heirloom one day and last for 100+ years, you want to use quality. You want to use quality embellishments as well. If you don't, then all your hard work will just fall off the page. And so actually, I still use Creative Memories, but because Creative Memories, like I said before, as it was, is no longer, the founder, Rhonda Anderson, has now moved to Youngevity, and her company is called Our Memories for Life, and she brings that same passion for quality to that company. And so Our Memories for Life is who I use. So this is a 12 by 12 album. I always do 12 by 12s for a family yearbook. It just fits a lot. Usually it fits 400 or more photos, and that's what I really need. This album is going to be for our Kauai trip that we took last year, and so you can see I've started a little bit, but I have the pages in here. They're 12 by 12 pages. They have a strap hinge binding, really, really, really important. And they're just really high quality albums. So Our Memories for Life here, they bring the same quality that Creative Memories originally had, and that's something that I find really valuable. So I also buy their page protectors, because when you've done your album and you have your pictures and your kids want to look at it, if you don't have something protecting your photos, then they can get all fingerprinted up and sometimes ripped. But I do like these pages as well, as they don't rip. And then these are the pages. So Our Memories for Life, 12 by 12. They do have different colors. I usually use white, or maybe something that's called Spargo. I don't think they use that term anymore. Anyways, a little off-white. So these are the pages and albums that I use to complete my family yearbook, or in this case, a vacation album. One of the things I also wanted to note about keeping a family yearbook, or even a vacation album, is that you want to keep track of your memorabilia. So I usually just get a little 99-cent folder at Walmart or something, and put all, like if I know I'm going somewhere, we were going to Kauai, so I took this folder, and everything we got in Kauai, paperwork and all our trip itinerary and everything, went in this folder, and I just put page protectors in there and everything. So really great way to keep your memorabilia, so that when you put together an album, you actually have the things that you want to put in it. Now, something like this I might not necessarily put in the album, but you never know what you'll find and what you'll come across. And also dates and times and days that you did things can really come in handy to be able to look back in your folder and find out the facts that you can write in your album, because journaling is a big part of creating a family yearbook. You want to tell the story. If you don't, then when people look at it years later, even you might not remember those details. So telling the story is very important. The first step with the Power Layouts system is to lay out your guides. So remember, I told you these were the guides. Now generally I'll have a very big table, maybe a 6-foot table, that I can have 2 layers of these guides. So I'll stack them all over the table. And what these represent is your album page, okay? So I'm just going to do 4 for demonstration purposes right now. But you first lay out your guides. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lay out your pictures on the page, okay? In the order that you would like them. I'm a chronological girl. I really like the story told the way it happened. So that's the way that I lay out. So what I do is just put my pictures on the page the way that I think I'm going to want them to be. And yeah, that covers it, but you know what? I'll deal with that later when I actually adhere. Nothing's adhered, nothing is journaled. You just lay your pictures out on the page. So I'm going to do the rest of these pictures, and I'll come back to you in a minute. So here you'll see I've got all my pictures laid out on these 4 guides. The benefit of doing it this way is literally you can see all your pages across the whole table and how they're going to look before you even do them, before you even put them in your album and journal and all that. So you can do a lot at one time. Rather than doing one page at a time, you get all your pictures, then you get all your journaling, then you get all your embellishments, and then you adhere it, then you go to the next page. It's not at all how this works. So this does many, many pages at a time. So I've got all my pictures laid out, pretty straightforward. Next thing you're going to add is embellishments, okay? So that's papers and things that decorate your page. And you'll see that I do things fairly simple. I'm going to go ahead and lay those embellishments out, and you'll see in a second what that looks like. So when you're putting your album together, the embellishment part is probably the part that takes the longest because you're choosing colors and kind of the decorations that you want, so it takes some time. But if you're organized with your supplies too, it won't take too long. But as you can see, like I said before, it's very simple. Literally on this page there's a strip of paper. It's kind of shimmery paper. I don't know, you probably can't see it in this camera, but and then that's all, and that will be the whole page. So there's the pictures and there's the shimmery paper. This is just a half sheet of paper that I'll probably journal a little bit right here. I always leave space for journaling. And there's a sticker strip there and a little flower. One of the things I love about Our Memories for Life, and same as when I had Creative Memories as the people that I bought from and that I was a consultant with, is that they have coordinating kits. So I don't have to go to this Hobby Lobby or the store and say, okay, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of stuff for one page. Rather, I have a whole kit that will all go together. And it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. So this is the embellishment part. The next part will be actually getting your pages out, your album pages, and adhering your photos to the page. And I'll show you that in just a second. I did want to mention at this point that if you can't work on your album anymore at this point, then the neat thing about these guides is that you can stack them up. So this is page 1, going on page 2, going on page 3, then page 4. And now I've got all these pages ready to adhere to the album pages, but I don't have to have them all over the table. And the real great benefit of that is that Power Layouts box that I showed you, you can store all these guides in and with the pictures and embellishments. And when it's closed and sealed, there's no way that anything's going to get out of order in what you've laid out. So I've literally had this album laid out since October, and now it is January, and I'm finally getting around to putting it in my album. So life got a little crazy, but I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's really beneficial in that you can lay it out and then come back and put it actually in all your photos in your album when you're ready. So now you see that I've adhered my pages. Now this was that original page I showed you that was already in the album. So I had to be mindful of that when I started to put the pictures on the pages, that I didn't make that one page 1. Instead, this is page 1. So I have my empty guides over here that I've now taken all the photos and embellishments off, and I have my actual pages that will go into the album here. I do use a Creative Memories adhesive. I'm sorry, it's Our Memories for Life now adhesive. And I use all of their embellishments. I do that because, and all their cardstock, because I know Rhonda Anderson has a very strong feeling that all photos need to be on acid-free, lignin-free, and buffered materials so that they don't fade, they don't turn yellow, they don't get crispy. Rather, they last for years and years and years and years. So that's where we're at with this. We now have adhered and embellished all of the pages, so everything's adhered. Now the next step that'll be left is to journal, okay? That's where you put your story. You put what you did, how you felt, what did it smell like, what was your favorite memory, what was your favorite place, where were you at? Just tell your story, okay? That is the most valuable part of this. The embellishments, we can get caught up in creating, 8-hour pages and stuff, but really, when people look at the photos or the albums, they look at the photos and they read the story. decorations are nice and they can make them look nice, but keep it simple. Really, I mean, just keep it simple. It'll make it doable. Then you'll be able to do an album each year. So now I will be journaling, and in the very end, I'll be able to show you my completed album using the Power Layouts method that I really think you're going to like. So here we are with the completed album. That's after journaling and adhering everything. You can see that I have my few little notes. Some pages have more journaling than another. And I did want to let you know that whenever I put page protectors, so this is a page protector right here, whenever I put those on, before I use a little felt piece of cloth to just wipe my pictures off. I generally get luster pictures, not glossy, because they don't get as many fingerprints, but I like to make sure that I don't have any fingerprints. So this is a completed album, fairly simple. These are just pictures. There's a color block and a few stickers. There's my writing. Don't worry about your writing if it's not beautiful. I write fairly quick here. I can write really nice, but I also write kind of quick so that I can get the story down, but it's still readable. So don't not write because you don't like your writing, I guess is my point. So just, again, real simple. Totally complete now vacation album that my family can enjoy for years to come. It's not going to fall apart. I've used really good quality materials from Our Memories for Life, and pretty inexpensive too. And I'm just excited. My littlest right here, he loves the albums the most. I really think that albums give children a sense of belonging and to be able to see themselves and their family and their story. I think it's wonderful. So thanks for joining me and learning how to do a family yearbook. I hope you'll try this. It's not hard to do one a year. Make that your goal. Just prioritize it. Set aside some time. Usually, it all in all, take me about a weekend. Well, no, probably about a day and a half. So part of a weekend to start and complete one of these. And that is because my photos are already organized. So I hope you'll try it. Let me know. Comment on this post and tell me what you think. www.feastingonjoy to see anything else like this DIY and any fun things that you want to check out. Okay, thanks. Bye.